Okay, so I just wanted to show you this magical little command that I've created in Cursor called /QA. Now, if you're not familiar with what QA it stands for quality assurance, and it is the bane of many developers' existence. But this /QA command makes it very, very easy and simple and effortless, especially as a solo developer. If you're sort of indie hacking or vibe coding or building some kind of software product on your own and you're time constrained, but you also don't want to ship bugs to your users, this command will solve that problem for you, and it certainly has for me. I'm building a platform called uxcanvas.ai, and this is a command that I keep coming back to time and time again. In fact, before I ship any feature to UX Canvas nowadays, I'm definitely running this command and going through the checklist that it generates. So the way it works is I'll be working with the agent in the sidebar over here, and I'll go back and forth and we'll implement a feature together. And I have a bunch of other commands that I use to aid the process in implementing the feature and doing code review and all this other stuff. But once we're done and it's in a good state, from just looking at the code, obviously I want to test the actual application to see how it's going to affect end users and if there are any bugs that slip through the cracks. And so the way I do that is not by just logging into the application and tinkering around. I like a structured process, because I used to do it the old way where I would just log into my own account on the software and just basically see if things seem to work, rattle things around, see if anything breaks. But I listen, I'll be the first to tell you, I'm not immune to shipping bugs. I've shipped plenty of bugs in my day. And listen, there's no shame in that. But I will say, it's not good, and I try to avoid it. And it looks like my camera is shitting out, but at least you can still hear me, I hope. So I'm going to keep going. So the way it works is I'll work with the Cursor agent. We'll create a feature. And then what I'll do is I'll come over to this chat, and I'll do this lovely little thing called /QA. And I just hit enter. And the Cursor agent is going to read the command program that I've set up for it. It's going to go through and look at all the changes we've made by running git diffs and all sorts of little things. And it's going to create this QA checklist for me. Now, the thing about QA is, you can see it's working on creating that now. The thing about QA is you can easily go overboard, right? So if you just had a naive prompt and you had the AI generate you a QA checklist, it might be, it might take you an hour to get through that thing. And if you're just shipping a small feature, or if you're a solo developer and you just don't have time to do all that shit. So that's one thing. The other thing is a lot of QA practices basically start from scratch for each distinct test. So it's like log in, authenticate, verify your email, or like maybe create an account as the first step. Go through all these stages, set up the software, set up your settings, and then test the feature. And then when you're ready to test the next thing, you basically start from scratch. So you create a new account, verify your account, so on and so forth. I purposely created the command so that the agent is going to be intelligent about being time efficient with the QA process. So if it has nothing to do with account creation, then I don't want to be creating a new account for every little step of the QA process. I want to be able to do this as efficiently as possible. And so that's what this QA agent is going to do. It's going to create a checklist. So let's see what it created for me. And you can see it created a nice, lovely little checklist for me here. And so you'll see it starts by creating a summary of changes section. And I purposely instructed to do this so that it's basically grounding itself. It's kind of like, I love when I force the AI to have this like kind of internal dialogue with itself about sort of just like grounding itself in preparing itself to do what it's going to do next and loading this into its memory. Because if you understand the way LLMs work, is they're basically like, it's not a great analogy, but they're kind of like really smart autocorrect systems, which are just predicting the next token. So you give it a stream of tokens and you say, what's the next token going to be? What's the next token going to be? And so doing this kind of preloads in memory what we're going to be testing next, right? It might be overkill, but it works well for me. Then there's the setup section. So I purposely built personally built a QA system inside of UX Canvas to help me speed up my QA process. You may or may not want to do something like this, and then the checklist. This is the meat of it, and it breaks it down into these different flows and features that we're going to be testing based on the changes that we've made. It sorts them chronologically, so it knows like this will be the next natural step after you do this. And after you do this, this is the next natural step, and so on and so forth. Now I'll show you the actual command. So very simple, it's about 40 lines, and I'll attach it in the description below if you want to set this up for yourself, and I'll tell you in a second how to get it into your own cursor. So basically, it preloads the context, telling the agent, hey, I have this QA system, so just make sure you understand it before writing your QA output. So here's the command. So it says, please give me a clear and concise QA checklist for the changes we made so that I can manually test to verify the integrity of our functionality. Do not include features or functionality that are unrelated to the changes we made. Only include relevant features and functionality that may have been impacted by the changes. Make it as concise and minimal as possible to effectively test the changes. Do not include any additional steps. So I'm really drilling in that I don't want to waste my time here. My time is very limited, and I don't want to be spending it doing any more QA than I have to. So I want to be building features and shipping things. And then I provide a structure for the checklist. So this is the same structure that I showed you that it output over here. And it does a great job. So it breaks it down by features to test. And it instructs how the summary of changes should be structured. And then this is a very important line. So I say, make sure to structure the QA plan in a way that is logical and time efficient, so I do not waste time repeating steps over and over. It kind of goes back to what I was telling you about before. Do not include any other sections or information. If the checklist, blah, 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 this is specific to my own QA testing system, so that's kind of irrelevant. And then I say, write the .md, so the markdown checklist, for me to go through chronologically to the /_QA folder. And that's really important. And name it something appropriate with kebab casing. So what I mean when I say that is I have this folder in my project that is this root. It's in the root of my project, and it's just called _QA. And so all the QA files that get written are going to go right into here. And you can see I've used this for a ton of different other features so far. I'm basically using this command. No, not basically. I am using this command before I ship anything to UX Canvas. And I'm telling you, like, probably 90% of the time, I find some sort of bug or some inconsistency or some unexpected behavior just by going through these checklists. I don't know, like, I've been using Opus 4.5, and I'm telling you, it is super intelligent. I'm always blown away by the things that it's able to do. So anyways, this is the /QA command that has changed my life as a solo developer. And if you like these command related videos, I've honestly built up a repository of like 30 different commands that I'm using in Cursor nowadays, and this is a really great one. So I'm going to include it in the description. Now, in order to add this command, all you're going to do is download it or copy and paste it basically, and you'll put it in the .cursor folder, and you'll just create a subdirectory called commands, and you'll paste it in there with the name. So it'll just be qa.md as it says there. And that's it. And then as soon as you go to your sidebar here and you type /, you'll have a list of all your commands ready to go. You just type /QA. And that's really it. So hope this is helpful, and hope it helps you ship less bugs. I know it has for me. So